Because of social media, we see everyone's highlight reel. It seems shameful to fail. And we don't want to fail in front of everybody else. But for me, especially being an entrepreneur, I don't always sell the most units of my stuff. And, my numbers could be better. But I'm not ashamed to fail in front of people because half the time, those people that are talking about you and are watching you fail and try again, they're too scared to even try. So, being a failure takes courage. Hello, and welcome to A Friend Like Me podcast. I am your host, Shariel, and I started this podcast because everybody needs a friend like me. And today is episode 3. Today's topic is failure is a good thing. And I know many people don't think that way, but I'll get further into it after this first segment. And I start my podcast off with this first segment I call What I've Noticed. What I've noticed is that all the good food spots that are reasonably priced are in the hood. And I don't have a problem with that. The only problem I do have is as a person who enjoys getting yummy food, when you go to the hood, you have to go in line with a screw face and order whatever you're ordering. Literally, it could be like oxtail, which I don't get to eat a lot, so I'm excited to get it. And like you see how many scoops of gravy. If you get 3 scoops, you're lucky. And you know what? I can't even celebrate in line. I can't do a little dance or anything because you're in the hood. And that's so annoying. You could be at a Spanish spot, a soul food spot, Jamaican spot, whatever. It's always in the hood. The plates are like $10 to $20 max, and that's why you love it. And the food is really good, but the environment is hostile. And if you're too smiley, you're gonna blow your cover that you're not from there. And that's that's what I've noticed. Is like when I go to these spots, I can't even celebrate that I'm getting such good stuff. I had to go to my car, lock my door, and then celebrate afterward. So that's what I've noticed. Literally, like all the good spots that are hole in the walls have the best food, and they're always in the hood. So let's get into the main topic, which I've said before, which is failure is a good thing. Because we're in America, they try to push on us like hustle culture and you should always go for the win. If you're not winning, you're a loser, blah, blah, blah. I really don't agree with that. And I feel like most people that are great have failed time and time and time and time again. There are people that win in life, but they don't, a lot of times they're not great and they don't take risks. But risk takers and people that are great and are iconic or even just amazing in their regular life, they fail time and time again. But the key is to learn from your failure. And sometimes as humans, we want to wallow and be sad and just be like, dang, I failed at that. But it's like, what can you learn from it? And for me personally, I feel like there's characteristics that cause you to fail that you can switch to cause you to win. So to give you like a personal story, last week I was supposed to put out episode 3, but I didn't. And the reason was because I was missing a USB cord and I need that to connect my mic. If I would have recorded my podcast on Sundays like I usually do, I would have realized I didn't have that USB port and I would have got one and recorded my episode. But because I procrastinated and decided to do it on a Tuesday when I dropped my podcast, I realized I didn't have the USB port. It was too last minute to get a new one and I couldn't drop on time. And procrastination is a trait of a failure. When you procrastinate, it leads you to scramble, it leads you to rush, and that's never a good thing. And sometimes you don't complete the task and you end up failing. And that's a lesson for me. It's like, okay, if you want to be a winner, you can't procrastinate. You have to be on time. And literally, when you fail at something, you should dissect it. What did you do to lead you to fail? And correct those things. It's not the end of the world. And this goes for entrepreneurship, this goes for family, relationships with family, relationships with coworkers, relationships with friends. If you have a failed friendship, a failed relationship is not the end of the world. I know we like to make it seem shameful if you have a breakup or you were friends with someone for a long time and you end up not being friends anymore. That's perfectly okay. As long as you're growing and learning from those failures, the next friendship, the next relationship will be even better. And there's so many examples in sports that show failure makes you a champion. And failure makes you a champion in life, just like failure makes you a champion in sports. I don't know if whoever's listening to this has seen The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. And we all know he won 6 rings, but the journey it took to get there was so much failure. When he was on his way to championships, the Bulls kept losing to the Pistons. So, what did Jordan do? He analyzed what he needed to do better. He realized, I'm too small. I'm not tough enough. These guys are beating me up. What did he do? He lifted weights. There's times in our lives where we're not tough enough in different situations where we need to lift weights, whether that is being on time, not procrastinating, having a listening ear, not being so emotional about what we feel, and being compassionate and understanding to know what our counterpart is feeling. So then we can come to a happy medium and mend that relationship and help that relationship grow. We have to grow our muscles in different ways to become a winner. It doesn't happen overnight. And I feel like the more you fail, the better you get, the more you learn. And there's also this concept that's popular now called failing forward. And I totally live by that. When you fail forward, you failed, but now you're closer to that goal you have in the first place. And I want to encourage you not to let failure stop you from doing what you truly desire, not letting failure stop you to becoming who you're supposed to be. This can be failing going to the gym consistently, or failing a diet. Try again. You're only a failure if you quit. That's the only time you fail. Even if you fall and it may be hard to get back up, it may take more time than last time. Get back up again. And I feel like we're in such a society that because of social media, we see everyone's highlight reel. It seems shameful to fail. And we don't want to fail in front of everybody else. But for me, especially being an entrepreneur, I don't always sell the most units of my stuff. And, my numbers could be better. But I'm not ashamed to fail in front of people because half the time, those people that are talking about you and are watching you fail and try again, they're too scared to even try. So being a failure takes courage. And like I said, that learning from these lessons of being a failure, you eventually will become a winner because you're going to learn from those mistakes and you're going to get so good that it's not going to happen again. You're not going to keep failing. And even if you fail, it's not going to be at that same low level. You're going to master that level you kept failing at and you're going to keep advancing in life. And to touch back on failing forward, a great analogy that I feel like relates to it is football. And I don't know much about football, but I know the goal of it is to get to the end zone and make a touchdown to score. And there's first down, which is basically you didn't get the ball to the end zone, so you technically failed. Second down, you failed to get to the end zone again. Third down, you failed again. But the thing is, with each of those failures, you're closer to the end zone. So once you do finally hit that end zone, you wouldn't have got there if you would have just gave up. If you'd be like, well, if I know I take this step forward, I'm gonna get tackled. So when the ball comes to me, I'm just not even gonna run. That's what failures do. Failures don't even try. They don't run. They don't go for it. But winners fail, but they fail forward to win. And I hope that I can inspire you to go after what you want to do. It doesn't even have to be like being a business owner, but being a better person, being someone that's more understanding, being someone that goes after what they want, whether it's a job promotion and speaking up, whether that's exercising, like I said, failing at eating healthy or failing to learn how to cook. Keep trying to learn how to cook. You're gonna get it. I'm a pretty good cook, but when I was starting out, there are certain things I made that were nasty, but that didn't, it wasn't nasty, but it wasn't good, But that didn't stop me from continuing to cook because I'm like, okay, this recipe just needed a little more seasoning, it needed a little more oregano, it needed a little more garlic powder, whatever. And then the more I made that recipe, the better it came out until I mastered it. If I didn't fail, if I didn't keep trying to make it better, I would never have mastered the recipe or mastered cooking. So you have to keep failing forward so you can become that winner that you truly are deep down inside. Failing is good. Don't be afraid to fail. So, my last segment in my podcast is called A Song to Expand Your Attention Span. This song is related to the previous topic and it's longer than 3 minutes, like most songs are nowadays. And that song is Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast and have a great rest of your week.